Um, some of these stories, man, they really make you sick to your stomach in terms of the blatant lies that are told. Inna Vernikov, a New York City Republican councilwoman, told Fox News Digital that voters in her heavily Jewish district are petrified about the prospect of socialist Zoran Mamdani becoming the city's next mayor. This is a guy who wants to globalize the Intifada, Vernikov told Fox News Digital. We've never seen anything close to this in New York City. We have the largest Jewish population in America. And I'll tell you, Jews are telling me they're going to run away from New York City. And Jews have contributed a lot to the city and to this country. And the idea that they are now afraid to live here, it's unacceptable and unprecedented, really. This has never happened here. Mamdani has been widely criticized for his anti-Israel position dating back to his college days, when he founded his school's Students for Justice in Palestine chapter. In recent weeks, Mamdani has been criticized over perceived reticence to condemn the phrase globalize the Intifada, which he now says he will not use and will discourage others from using. Mamdani's father faced scrutiny over his past writings and comments, which include the social media post celebrating a potential third Intifada against settler colonialism in Israel. The Intifada is a call for violence. We've seen what happened during two Intifadas where people were murdered. Innocent people lost their lives, Vernikov said, adding that there's a lot of fear in the Jewish community if this guy becomes mayor. Vernikov, who is Jewish, told Fox News Digital she has spoken to her in her district, the people she's spoken to in her district are petrified of Mamdani becoming mayor. Numerous Jewish groups have come out in staunch opposition against Mamdani's candidacy. Brooke Goldstein, a human rights attorney, told Fox News Digital earlier this month that Zoran Mamdani has built his political brand on the same radical, hate-filled, and anti-American ideology. His father, Mamdani, has, I know I'm mispronouncing his dad's name, but bear with me, has spent decades promoting one that demonizes Jewish people and legitimizes anti-democratic violence. Vernikov took issue with Democrats who have started to endorse Mamdani, which experts say could cause problems for the Democratic Party if he wins in November, and criticized their excuse that he's a Democratic nominee. And this is my favorite part. I'm curious. I have a question, Vernikov told Fox News Digital. If this Democratic nominee could be like a KKK member or would call for the annihilation of the black community, would they still, come behind him as hard as they are now? And I would think that the answer would be no. But when it comes to the Jews, that's okay. So it's really hypocritical, unacceptable, and disgusting. And they've been endorsing him one by one. While Republicans are fighting anti-Semitism on behalf of Jewish Americans every day, the Democrats are supporting an anti-Semite. I was thinking about that group that Mamdani started in college, right? The Justice for Palestine chapter. And it's like you hear a group with a name like that and you say, okay, this is clearly a group that is critical of the Israeli government's treatment of Palestinians. What the hell does that have to do with calling for the annihilation of Jewish people? And, we're hearing all this crap about all the Jews in New York are so scared. What exactly do they believe is going to happen? Do they think Mamdani is, after criticizing the apartheid state in Israel, going to implement one in his own city, going to have them wearing gold star? I mean, it's nuts. It is hysteria. It's literally them, let's call it what it is. They're running on a new Red Scare where anyone that says the Israeli government is treating Palestinians like animals, right? Just round them up, killing them, blowing up hospitals, all this other just evil crap, you're called anti-Semitic. Even if your comments have nothing to do with Jewish people. And you even see here that they go beyond Mamdani. They're like, well, his dad said this. Like, okay, yeah, that's not good, but is his dad running for mayor? So, like, anything a candidate's parent says is now them? Because Mamdani, they even acknowledged that in the article he said, or rather they acknowledged where he has now stated that he does want to use the phrase Antifada. And I know I'm saying this probably incorrectly, but whatever. And even in acknowledging that, they have to keep going, oh, well, see, his dad wrote this on social media, and then this other person, oh, his dad was the one that gave him this ideology. So basically, guilt by association. They're doing something pretty similar to, I guess you could say it's kind of like the whole, smearing Jesse Jackson with his association with Louis Farrakhan. Just, where it's guilt by association, where it's, we're going to, like, get upset over some of the stuff you say, but we're really upset over you affiliating with this other person. which in this case would be Mamdani's own father. But when this this councilwoman, I mean, when you just to go back to, because this was the part that really had me just off the wall. When she said, if this Democratic nominee would be like a KKK member or call for the annihilation of the black community, where the hell? I want someone to take every single clip of Mamdani, whether it's his interviews or just stuff of him on the street. When the hell have you ever seen Mamdani call for the annihilation of the Jewish community? Like, when have you ever seen him in an interview say this group just doesn't need to exist in America anymore? And imagine, like, somebody running for office and they're criticizing an apartheid state government that kills people, and you compare them to, let's just call it what it is, a domestic terrorist group that antagonized people for their ethnicity. So while they're fighting against the domestic terrorist government in this other country that the U.S. supports, you are comparing them to the group that they're to a similar group, albeit one with less power, in their own country. It is nuts. Like, I just, and the sad part is we've got about 5 more months of this to go through, right? August, September, October, November. I guess I should say 4 months, because August is like about to start soon. But it's sad that we're never going to get to a point where politicians will be able to acknowledge a genocide simply because the group committing the genocide gets to hide behind their religion. And I have this mental image. It's kind of funny, but it's also just shows how stupid she is, of all of these different Jewish people being like, oh my God, Mamdani has become mayor. I'm so terrified for no reason other than him criticizing a government in another country. It's nuts. Like, they want you to believe that is a possible reality. The only people I think are going to flee New York if he wins are a bunch of rich people that don't want to get taxed more. But it's just so wild that you can have remarks that aren't even, just the distortions. It really shows you, man, if the fairness doctrine was still a thing, and when people came on TV, they actually had to be criticized or condemned for saying things that were just patently false. These kind of comments wouldn't be allowed to fly. But we live in a country of selective free speech, let's call it what it is. And when you're saying things which are allowed to help the elite, it goes along with it. So the elite in this case are people who don't want to have a politician who says we need to upend the system getting in office. So they're going to use the fact that he is speaking in favor of another marginalized group, the Palestinians, to now say that he's anti-Jewish people and all this other crap that has nothing to do with what's actually being said. The good thing is, with him leading as well as doing as well as he's doing, it seems that it's not really sticking. And hopefully that continues to be the case.